Hey guys, so it's Kayla from Katvagas. I'm gonna talk about books. Simple as that. So, have you ever read such an amazing book series with you read the first book, you fall in love with the book, with the characters, and then it has an amazing ending. And then you have those books where you fall in love with the characters, you fall in love with the storyline, and then you get to the ending and you're like, what the fuck was that? What did I just read? What is this blasphemy in front of me upon this tree? I don't know, what is this? Let's take the Mortal Instruments on the good end of the spectrum versus the Divergent series on the what the hell did I just read end of the spectrum. And I'm sorry for my language. I'm just in the middle of a book series right now, and I'm very frustrated with what's going on, and I'm almost done with it. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. My screen is over here, so it's kind of whatever. But okay, you have the Mortal Instruments. And I'm sorry if you haven't read the Mortal Instruments. There might be a little bit of spoilers in here. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to. I'm just really frustrated. So, you have, the Mortal Instruments. And, it starts off with Jace and Clary, and you find out they're brother and sister, and you're like, what? This can't happen. I ship them so hard. Okay, well, why not just do with Clary and Simon? And then Simon meets Maya, and blah, 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 blah. And then, you go through the course of things. Oh, Valentine's dead. Oh, wait, now it's Jonathan. Oh, he's dead. But wait, he's not. You get to the end, and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? And then, boom, beautiful ending. Everything you wanted to happen happened. And then, everything is good. You're finished with the series, and now you can continue on with your life and read something else. And then you have Divergent, where it starts off, and then, it goes, oh, I like 4. Oh, I like them together. And then you get to the second book, and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool, this is pretty cool. And then you get to the third book, and you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then one of your favorite characters dies, and you're like, what the hell? Why? Honestly, I could have seen Allegiant end with Caleb dying instead of Triss. I don't know. I could have seen it. It could have worked out either way, but no. If I remembered the author right off the top of my head, I would call her out and be like, yo, why? She could have lived. Oh my gosh. I don't know about anyone else who read that, but I bawled. Not when it happened, but the 2 chapters after, when 4 was it was from his point of view, talking about when he met her, and they were this big of paragraphs, and I'm just throw his book and cries. Anyone else with me? I don't know. Okay, so then you have your books with really bad plot lines. And I don't remember the name of the book, and I'm probably gonna get so much crap for that if people actually watch this, but it's Something at Midnight, and it's about this guy who turns into a werewolf, and this chick falls in love with him, and they make out in the janitor's closet and under the stairs, and blah, 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 blah. It's just really, the book is this thick, and so much information is rushed into it. I literally sat there and read it for 3 hours, and finished it, and I'm like, this is crap. The storyline was so bad, and I feel if the author, and I feel it was a male author, actually, I'm not sure, I feel if he would have taken more time into the book, granted, he could have taken 5 years into that book, it was still crap, in my opinion. Maybe someone else's it wasn't, but in my opinion, it was crap. If he would have taken more time on it, and, written it more detailed, maybe, and didn't rush the plot line, I feel it could have been an amazing book. Sorry, I'm yawning. And then, you have the books with the copied plots. Okay, I'm going to mention 2 book series. You may or may not have read them. One of them is a really kind of unknown book, and then another one's a series that just finished, I think, 2012. The Fallen series by Lauren Cates, I think. Shoot me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But it's about this guy named Daniel, and this girl named Luce, and Luce, like, sees these things, like, she sees shadows, and she doesn't know what they are. And then there's this Daniel, I think it's Grigori, who, like, it's weird. I don't want to spoil this. Like, I mean, I just went right out there with the Mortal Instruments and Divergent, but a lot of people have read them, and I'm hoping anyone who is still this far into the video will have enough sense to have finished those before they continue watching this. But the Fallen series is about Luce, and she sees those things, and then Daniel, and, like, it turns out they're more connected than what is seemed. And then, like, Luce is sent off to this boarding school because, like, she's blamed for this fire that happens, like, by her house or at her friend's house or something, and someone died in it. And it turns out, like, this entire place, I think it's called Sword and Cross, this entire place, like, this librarian and, like, all of her friends are, like, all tied together. And you learn about it, like, you learn about it as you go through the books, and you're like, this is kind of weird. And then you get to the last book, and you're like, oh, dang, this is kind of cool. And then, like, it ends beautifully. I loved it. And then, this girl named Jordan at my school, a couple years ago, like, after I finished that series, she posted about reading this book called My Name is Memory. And I was like, oh, I'll read that, sounds kind of cool. I'm sorry for those of you who have read My Name is Memory and loved it. I hated it because it, in a way, copies Fallen so much. Like, the main character's name is Daniel, for one. That's a bunch of crap. But what it is this guy dies. And, like, every time he dies and he's born again, he remembers his past life. So he could be in, like, the year 3727 and would remember his life from the 1800s. And in every life, he meets this girl, and it's, like, the person he is meant to be with. And in every time they're almost together, he's killed. Or, like, he dies or she dies or something. And, like, it, like, Passion, the third book in the Fallen series, goes through the history of Luce and Daniel and all of them. You find out more about that later. And then My Name is Memory goes back through when he tried seeing her and everything, and, like, it just copied Fallen, in my opinion. I don't know which one was written first. I don't know who copied who, if they even did, or if it was just coincidental, but it drived me up a wall. I had to push myself through that book. And what makes it even worse is, like, the same thing with the horrible plots. Like, if you're going to write a series and have, like, one book have a really bad cliffhanger and you have the intentions of writing another book, fine, that's cool. Waiting for it. My Name is Memory, on the other hand, is a single book. It has the worst cliffhanger that I have ever seen, and she, I don't know who wrote it, has no plans, from what I've read online, of writing a sequel. Why write the book in the first place with that kind of cliffhanger at the end without having, like, a plan to write another book? Like, I'm getting, like, emotional about this. Books are my life. Books are my life. And then, like, I don't know if any of you read the Nevermore series by Kelly Craig, or Kelly Krieg, or however you say her name. She follows me on Twitter, that's all I know about. But she has this book called Nevermore, and then the second book is Enshadowed. And, like, I can't even explain what it's about, honestly. It's, like, this girl meets this guy named Baron, and he has, like, this, I want to say magic world, I guess. I don't know, like, it's based kind of on the life of Edgar Allan Poe. Like, there's a lot of his stories incorporated in this, and it's really cool. And the first book came out, I want to say, in, like, 2010. The release date was published for 2012. Didn't come out, no. I think it came out in 2009. The sequel didn't come out until 2012. And then the third and final book, Oblivion, isn't supposed to come out until, like, 2016. I'm freaking out because I want to know what happens with Baron and Isabel and, like, everyone else, and it's just so freaking frustrating, I guess. Like, I want to know what happens. I don't want to wait another year and a half for this freaking book. I waited long enough for City of Heavenly Fire for the Mortal Instruments, man. And then, like, my last little topic I want to cover, since I'm hitting the 10-minute and 5-second mark, I'm sorry if you're still watching this, thank you. Like, you know those books, like, okay, I'm going to take Divergent and compare it with the Mortal Instruments again. You read Divergent, and you go see the movie in theaters, and you're like, yeah, that was a good movie. Like, it didn't follow that much, but it was better in a way. Like, they could do something with that movie. Like, they produced the movie, it went to theaters, it didn't follow the book, but they can still continue on without spoiling anything in the later books. They can do their own thing with it, kind of like Harry Potter did, supposedly. I don't know, I didn't watch Harry Potter, shoot me. And then you have the Mortal Instruments. I feel like they tried incorporating the first 3 books into one freaking movie, because, like, nothing in the movie, if you are interested in the Mortal Instruments City of Bones series, read the books before seeing the movie, because if you watch the movie first, you might think it's good since you've never read the books, but coming from a person who has read this series in total like 4 times, like, the movie's awful. Nothing in the movie happens in the book except for Simon, the little scene with Simon and Clary. Other than that, nothing happens like that at all. And then, like, I'm just gonna say, if you're still watching this, spoiler right here about coming up. Jace and Clary find out that they are brother and sister at the end of the first book, and are not supposed to find out that they are not related until the 3rd book. They literally tell you in the movie, like, Hodge talks to Valentine and says, well, why don't we take away from them what they want the most? And Valentine's like, oh, what's that? And then Hodge is like, tell them that they're brother and sister. Why? We are not supposed to know that they are not actually related until the 3rd book. Like, it's speculated in the 2nd one, but in the 3rd book you are told that they are not brother and sister. We are not supposed to know in the 1st freaking book. Like, I don't know why that angered me so much. I am like, books are my life, as I've said before. Like, I get so into them. It's insane. And I'm sorry this video was so long. I just wanted to rant a little bit. If you want any more rants, let me know. Give me topics. I'll look into it. If you have any suggestions for me or Tyler, let us know. I apologize for this being 13 minutes, probably 13 and a half minutes when I'm done rambling. But yeah, thanks for watching. And until next time, see ya!